Oh yeah, it's the 10th here, dating the episode, I guess, but I mean, it's right there. But, I guess it's the 9th for people in other time zones, so happy Piccolo Day! Not this time, Von Karma. What? Nani? What is Piccolo Day? So in the original Dragon Ball, Demon King Piccolo was like, I declare May 9th to be Piccolo Day. I don't know if he said that in English, but he said it in Japanese. And so it's just a meme. Like, it's Piccolo Day. It's the day that we worship Piccolo Daimao. Demon King Piccolo. I don't know what happens on May 9th for Piccolo Day, but May 9th has been declared Piccolo Day by Piccolo himself, so happy Piccolo Day. It's like how in Dragon Ball Z Abridged, Christmas got replaced with Frieza Day. So every Christmas I just tweet, Happy Frieza Day. You're not going to sucker me into this one.
What are you blabbering about, Mr. Wright?
There was no accomplice. Acro planned and committed this murder all by himself. Man, we're getting right into it. I didn't expect it to happen this early.
Order! Order! What the actual shitfuck, Mr. Wright?
Way to keep them on their toes, Nick!
I'm going to have to prove how it all fits together. I have to show how Acro murdered Russell Berry.
Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that?
I know what I can do. I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed.
Alright, then let's do it!
Mr. Pahoenix Wright. If this witness is the killer, then his eyewitness account is all lies, right?
Mr. Wright, I'd like you to clear something up for me. When the crime was committed, where exactly where was Mr. Dingling?
He just did it from his room. He was obviously here the entire time.
That's Acro's room?
Pretty simple, eh? Acro wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. In that case, there can be only one correct answer. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the Ringmaster. Okay, it's starting to come back to me now. What? Are you fucking nuts?
What say you, Mr. Dingling?
It's an interesting theory. Is that it? Considering that what you proposed is impossible, yes, that's it. Impossible.
Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor.
as the witness has stated, your assertion is impossible. As he is in a wheelchair, there is no way he could go to the scene or be the killer.
You've got a point. It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Pahoenix Wright. The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime.
It's true! Mo said that he saw Max, didn't he? And then he was all like, whoosh, whoosh, wee!
But Maya, it's still impossible for humans to fly. Do you mind if I ask a question, Mr. Wright? What is it? I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? If I can't leave my room, I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume. How did he do it? That's the next course of this legal buffet.
Be careful, Nick! If you mess up here, we're gonna fucking die!
She's right. I can't mess up here. I've got to give this one some serious thought. I'm sure that Acro killed the Ringmaster. And he did it while he was in his room, no doubt about it.
Time to enlighten us as to how Mr. Dingling committed the crime.
I think that we should call it for today. I don't know, what do you guys think? Does this seem like a good place to stop? I could keep going for maybe 10, 15 more minutes. Up to you, but... This is getting curious. Yeah, it is. Okay, you know what? I'll present evidence. If it's wrong, I'll end the stream. If it's right, I'll keep going. I'm going to present some evidence.
So what did Mr. Dingley use to commit the crime of murder?
I don't remember this case at all in terms of who done it. Right, this thing. Did the order of things change? Oh. I think... Because this went missing, right? So maybe he dropped this on him. Because it was a loud thump. And, like... That sizable bust being dropped from the 3rd floor would create a pretty loud thump. And that's why he saw Max both wearing the hat and even though the silk hat was on the ground, was like on the ground. Because it was the statue hat. Ooh. Yeah.
What's that? A picture?
And maybe like the cloak got, because the ringmaster was wearing the cloak. I'm pretty sure we established that. So the cloak might have got caught on the bust as it was being pulled back up. Because he's not going to leave it down there. He probably tied it with like rope or something to pull it back up. So that his fingerprints would not be found on it. It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture.
The bust?
It's quite a large bust, and because it is life-sized, it's also
very, very heavy.
Heavy? Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death. Especially if it was dropped from a 3rd-story window.
Ah!
Ooh, he angry. He angry. See? This is how Acro was able to kill the Ringmaster. With the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactica's ample bust. He crushed the Ringmaster with Max's big titties.
Order! Order! So you're saying the bust fell onto the Ringmaster?
A rather simple crime. Even if you were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit. How could you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible. Well, Acro is an acrobat. He should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like the bust.
Mr. Dingling, how do you respond to these charges?
Well,
Acro's at a loss for words!
he should be. He knows that I'm getting close to the truth. Well, Acro. You can't run away. Ow! I'd watch what I say if I were you, Mr. Pahoenix, Wright. What? Your Honor, the physical health of the witness is material to this case. I demand that we get proper testimony from the witness himself.
Testimony, you say?
Von Karma. She's just using this testimony as a ruse to stall for time. There's absolutely no need for such testimony. The defense has its version of the murder. The prosecution has the right to respond.
The defense's objection is overruled.
Why can't he see things my way once in a while?
Mr. Dingling, I'm sorry, but we need you to testify about your physical condition. If you have any doubts about your ability to testify, we can request expert testimony.
Can we? Are we going to do that? I don't think that's ever happened. The closest thing to expert testimony, from my understanding, is like Gumshoe. Because he's a cop. The witness will have no problems. However, let's all be respectful towards him. Thank you. That woman will sink to any low to win a case. Witness testimony, Acro's physical state. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking out of the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. Thus, it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think?
I have no doubts in regards to this witness's testimony.
It was impossible for him to lift the bust and stick himself out far enough to look. Not to mention, he could not have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. A single false step would have led to even more severe injuries.
That's what I was thinking. What is your opinion on the matter, Mr. Wright?
I'd still like to proceed with my cross-examination. He's simply stalling. It's shameful, really. Can't let her get to me. I've got to focus. Have you ever lifted up the bust before? No, I've never actually lifted it up with my own 2 hands. But I should get to it, don't you think? Can't let money outdo me on this. Money? That crazy monkey has lifted Max's bust before? You cannot possibly be telling me that the monkey is the accomplice.
Please continue with your testimony, Mr. Dingling.
So what have you been doing to keep in shape? Well, honestly, I've given up on training. I don't have any plans to return to the trapeze or the tightrope. You don't say. But no offense, I'm not worried about losing to you in a race or anything. Neither am I, Mr. Poenix Wright.
I wouldn't lose either, Slowpoke! I mean, Nick.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. How did this discussion turn to me all of a sudden? Every day is Roast Phoenix Day. I suppose you could say I'm stronger than the average bear. Picnic basket. Anyway. Why is that? Because if I were to... Because if I were to do that, I'd end up falling out the window myself. I still haven't gotten much feeling back in my legs yet.
So you couldn't have thrown that bust out of the window.
How long do you think your recovery will take? You have to remember that my nerves were severely damaged. Currently undergoing some extremely intensive rehabilitation, but it's still going to take a while before I'm back to 100%. Let me remind you of another very important point. If the witness was carrying the bust, he would not be able to see out below the window. Words. Makes it impossible. Why do you say it would be impossible? Allow me to explain. You accept that if I was carrying the bust, I couldn't see out below the window? Thus, there is no way that I would have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. Well, I suppose you've got a point.
Hey, Nick.
Huh?
What if you...
Turn things around.
Maybe if you think of it sort of like this.
She's mentally channeling her sister.
If he knew the location of the Ringmaster's head, then he could drop the bust.
That does make sense. If only I could prove somehow that Acro knew the location of the Ringmaster's head without looking. I think I know how he knew. I think I've already explained things sufficiently. Thus, it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think? If all you had to do was drop it, then it wouldn't have been a problem at all. If all I had to do was drop it, you're right, I could have done that. However, there's no way that I could land a direct hit on the Ringmaster's head.
So that kind of makes your theory a bit pointless, doesn't it, Mr. Wright?
Acro is strong enough to lift up the bust.
The main problem is how he could have aimed for the Ringmaster's head.
I wonder if he used some kind of tool to aim for the Ringmaster.
That's the ticket, Nick. Show them what you got.
I have to be careful. I have to find something that perfectly fits with the case. It's fine. I think I know what it is.
I don't remember us finding any sort of tool. Maybe we overlooked something.
Okay. Excuse me. Okay, it's either this or the picture. gonna go with the picture first. There we go. Acro, you didn't really need to lean out of the window, did you? What are you driving at, Mr. Wright? You already knew ahead of time where the Ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I may add. Your silly hinting at things is pointless, Mr. Perhoenix, Wright. Enough stalling. How about you show us some evidence? But I did such a good job hinting.
Yes, yes, yes. Hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright.
Maybe you should take a look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. The key point here is the wooden box. Could I have pointed both those things out? Either one of those things, that would have been fine.
The same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over?
The same. Question is, who placed the wooden box here? Who? When Ben and company saw the Ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box, which means that this wooden box was already placed at the scene of the crime.
I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense.
How though? How did he place it there if he can't leave the building by himself? The moment the bust came falling down was exactly the same moment that the Ringmaster lifted up this wooden box. Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear. You mean...
If the bust were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box,
there would be no way that it could miss the head of the victim. No!
Order! 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 This is unbelievable!
Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Now I just gotta keep going. There's only one way to go from here. Forward.
So the next question I have is, who placed that wooden box at the scene?
It was Mr. Dingling, of course. He connected it to a rope, and then all he had to do was lower it down. Die! Allow me to whip some sense into you. Mr. Perhoenix, right? Ow! Fucking bitch! The Ringmaster's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box. That's why the box was so specially made. Specially made? Indeed. It had the most peculiar feature. It was heavy as shit. The box has a remarkable weight. Weight?
According to the court record, it weighs 20 pounds.
Just to lift up this wooden box I've required...
Oh, I see. One would have to squat down, then lift up with their body, wouldn't you say?
That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large.
The box also has carrying handles on either side, doesn't it?
That is correct. To lift up the box, you'd have to squat down. Details! Which means, no matter who you are, your head would be in approximately the same place. Fool. Hold on. Does he even bother to listen to me anymore? I've heard what you've had to say. I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills.
Did you do it? Did you place this wooden box in the plaza?
Mr. Wright may have a vivid imagination, but I could never have done what he's proposing. What? Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of Max's bust? Yeah, it was in the cafeteria. Of course I remember. It was on top of the table in the cafeteria.
But what happened to it?
I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself.
Ah, that means...
You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bust from my room. However, how would I have gotten the bust from the cafeteria to my room? You see, Mr. Perhoenix, right? Explain that! Don't forget, you said there was no accomplice. That! Tell us exactly how the witness would have carried the bust from the cafeteria. Yep, we definitely have a problem here. But this is no place to get perplexed. Gotta get my wits about me and prove how things happened once and for all.
All right, Mr. Wright. Let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get do the thing.
The monkey.
A monkey?
Everyone knows Money. He loves shiny objects of any size.
Oh, like when he stole the ventriloquist's ring.
So, are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust? Yes! Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own, and then brought it back home.
Home?
Money lives in Acro's room.
Acro's room?
Excuse me. But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny. Is this bronze? This looks like jade. How is this bronze? Also, the cars are shiny. Maybe you should put the whip down sometimes and read the court record. Oh, wrecked. My, there's some very nice cards he's holding. Oh, I think that was the judge. Yes, and they're made of platinum, which is very shiny. Fuck! Acro. Money is a strong monkey, right? It'd be easier for him. Bronze oxidizes to green. Oh, I didn't know that. It'd be easy for him to bring the bus back to your room. Man, I did chemistry in high school, so I should remember this. Oh well. Thank you, Sadie. If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be on the market for a new roommate.
Order! Order! I said order! Miss Von Karma! Where is the bust in question at this moment?
I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak. I think we're almost at the end. I might as well keep going, I think.
This is a rather strange turn of events.
Also, good morning. I love the stupid case. Good morning. I love it too. It gets sad, but it's also very stupid. Excuse me.
Let's say that the monkey had not stolen the bust. What would have happened then?
Oh, God. My voice hurts. Well, in that event, something else would have been used as the murder weapon.
Wait! Then you mean this bust was the murder weapon purely by accident?
It's possible. Maybe Acro saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. Anyways, I think we've more than proven one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Acro was the murderer. Moron! Buffoon! Bollocks!
Mr. Wright's argument was so circular, I'm still a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water. There's no denying that.
Ah! Don't seem so flamboozled, especially by this fraud of an attorney. Oh, this fraud of an attorney that found out that your father was a murderer and a conspirator of murder who murdered and conspired and framed people for the murders that he conspired and committed. Sadie, I don't know if you were here for this, but every day is Bully Franny Day. Woman Fred Von Karma. Fraud. You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Poenix Wright. And what is that? You should know. You forgot that your fraud of a magical client was also was spotted at the scene of the crime. There's no reason to doubt the clown's testimony, even though he lied for like 80% of it.
That's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright?
Nick, don't let her beat you now!
I won't. This is my chance to turn this trial around. How was your nap, Sadie? I hope it was a good nap. When the murder occurred, there were two people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this and only this, Mr. Poenix Wright. Well, let's save first.
What was the murder?
The clown saw. It was the bust. He saw Max's I asked who was the other person Mo saw on the scene. That evidence has nothing to do with the question. Oh my god, Phoenix, you tool. Au contraire, mon frère. My French accent sucks. It does indeed have something to do with the question. Mo said that he saw Max's silhouette. But he did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw.
How is that possible?
It's simple, really. What Mo actually saw that night was Max's bust. What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all in this case? The silhouette he saw was wearing a cloak. Easy. There's no reason why you couldn't attach a cloak to the bust. It'd be easy to hang one... Well, it'd be easy to hang one of the cards in the bust's hands. Idiot! Who in their right mind would put a cloak on a bust? Doesn't matter who put it on the bust.
Just wait a minute. Just wait a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? That question is of the utmost importance, don't you agree?
Oh, he caught me.
So let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust?
The Ringmaster.
Fool! Him? You're saying that was the victim himself? Russell Berry?
That is what I'm saying. The victim himself placed the cloak on the bust. Placed the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it.
Then what would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright?
Explain yourself.
Nick, do you really have a handle on it?
I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting the pieces all together. There's really only one picture I can paint anyways. Alright. So you want to know what really happened that night? Well, let's step back in time. Okay, my voice is starting to hurt. My throat's getting real dry. Let's just... Oh, man. Sadie, do you remember how much is left of this case? If it's like 10 minutes or something, I can keep going. But otherwise... Excuse me. Then again, I made this mistake last time, didn't I, with DL6? Because I was like... Fuck it, let's do the entire final trial, and we went on for 4 hours. Fuck it, let's call it a stream. Because I also need to have lunch. Thanks for the stream. No problem. Thank you guys for coming. God, I should bring water as well as tea, but oh well. So, I'll post 4 of these bajillion screenshots that I took to all my social medias. And with that, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Hit the subscribe, hit that follow button if you want to see more content like this. And if you want to support me, oh my god. Okay, let me start again. So with that, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Hit that follow button if you want to see more content like this. And if you want to support me, consider hitting that subscribe button. Pledging to my Patreon or donating via Streamlabs. But as always, your viewership is the best way to support me. I will see you guys next week. Don't forget to fuck that like button. Bye!